You're listening to Your Superpowered Mind on the Superpower Up podcast, the show that investigates the innate power within your brain to create lasting change.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Your Superpowered Mind. I'm your host, Kristin Maxwell, and in this show, we explore the process of transformation and give you tools and strategies you can use to transform your own life. Today, we're going to be talking to Bill Heinrich about how to discover your divine purpose to build self-confidence. Bill is a high-level business coach with over 45 years experience as an entrepreneur. He's the owner of True Life Purpose Now, where he shows people how to identify, access, and live their life's purpose. As the creator of the Coaching for Divine Purpose coaching certification program, Bill has certified numerous coaches. He's the author of 2 books, most recently, The 7 Levels of Truth, the answer to life's biggest questions. Bill, welcome to Your Superpowered Mind.
Hi, thank you.
It's nice to have you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say I've known Bill for several years, so it's particularly fun to get to talk to you and let everybody know what you're doing, because it certainly rocked my world.
Well, it rocks everybody's world. You talk about superpowers. And for me, it was learning that I was an energy empath.
Right. Yes.
And because of that, and because of what I've developed a very acute sense of energy, but what I've learned from this is if you follow energy, you'll always find the truth. Always. It's amazing. And it really clears up a lot of the confusion of what's going on in the physical world. So my area of expertise is I'm a human potential expert and an expert in metaphysics. So there's a lot of different directions we could go talking today.
Wow, yes. And you just already piqued my interest in a number of ways. So your superpower, you say, is to follow energy, to always find the truth. Mm-hmm. So what does that mean, to follow energy? Maybe, there might be listeners who don't know what you mean by that.
Well, it's really so simple, because everything we think, say, and do is fueled with some energy. There's going to be story, knowledge, or logic behind everything we do, right?
Right.
I did show the powerful energy, right?
Bill, for some reason, your connection's going in and out.
Or you can't.
Yeah. Can you say that again? Let's see if we can, if it'll come through.
Okay. Where were we at?
You were saying, you said there's always story, knowledge, or logic behind everything we say or do.
Oh, right. Yeah. Everything we say or do is coming from story, knowledge, or logic. In other words, you're either making a choice to do something, or you're in reaction to something that somebody else has said or done or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And your source of information for that, you have to understand what's happening, and then you have to understand how you want to respond or what you want to choose, right?
Right.
So we go into the past, we go to our past experience, and with those experiences are stories, and with those stories are emotions. And that's the energy behind what we do. That's why people get angry. There's some association for them. But typically they're moving with energy, Kristin, that's fueling it. And when you become aware of the energy that's fueling it, you become aware of the energy or the story behind the energy, right?
Right.
So if somebody says something, let me give you an example. A lot of people are uncomfortable with chaos. Okay. Chaos is really disturbing to them. Well, that's because they have one of their attributes or gifts that they have is order. So it affects them more, but you see, it affects them energetically. But we look at it in the physical. We look at what's happening and we don't understand why we feel that way. Does that make sense? Or am I confusing everybody?
Yeah, no, that does make sense. So we are saying that we all have some sort of, I don't know if you would
Let me make it really simple.
Okay, yeah.
Okay? There's only two energies, love and fear. Everything's either going to come from fear or come from love, right?
Right.
Fear can only be created when you're looking into the physical, because you're protecting something or you're afraid of losing something. And love is just love. Love you just give away, right?
Right. So what, when you're talking about these things, you work with divine purpose. How do you explain what divine purpose is?
Well, we each have excuse me, we each have a dharma. We each have a purpose, a very specific purpose. Our frustration, stress, and overwhelm in life comes from our unawareness of that and the fact that we're going the wrong way, right? And as you learn more about, and you've worked with me, right? And you know that as you gain more awareness, you can make better choices, right?
Right.
And there are things that you can look at that are unique to every individual person, which is, we all have life lessons. We all have divine gifts. We have the same 7 divine gifts. And because of my work with energy, I can do a meditation and find out what somebody's energetic DNA is in the 7 gifts, what proportions of the energy they have. And when people learn this, Kristin, I've been doing this 8 years and the results are getting even crazier, right? People's lives change so fast, it's just unbelievable when they follow the energy like this.
Wow.
Because it doesn't matter what's going on outside you. It only matters how you respond. And the universe, we live on Earth in the physical, but the universe is non-physical.
Right.
The universe runs everything.
So are you saying we're going to actually have to go to break really quickly? I can't believe it already. But so you're saying that our divine gifts impact how we respond to situations and to life?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. We're going to have to go.
Okay.
Hold that thought because I want to go to break, but I want to go into that more fully. Tell everybody, if you could, where they can learn more about you and your work.
Well, I'm Bill Heinrich. My website is truelifepurposenow.com. My Facebook page is facebook.com/truelifepurposenow.
Perfect. That's great. When we come back, we're going to talk more about how to discover your divine purpose to build self-confidence. So hang on.
Are you here to change the world? Do you talk about things like vibration, frequency, awakening, and consciousness? Are you pretty sure you have superpowers? The Superpower Net is unlike normal coaching programs and conscious communities. We provide training, intuitive guidance, peer-to-peer learning, intensive one-on-one coaching, and a high vibrational network of people just like you. When you join the net, you get 24/7 access to a collaborative group of people who support you as you master your personal power and unlock your superpowers. If you're ready to use your superpowers to change the world, then join the Superpower Net today. Visit superpowerexperts.com/thenet to learn more.
Welcome back, everyone. We are talking to Bill Heinrich about discovering your divine purpose. So, Bill, you say there are 7 divine gifts.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to explain what those gifts are, and like how do we have each of those gifts? How are we given them, I guess, is what my
Okay,
question
that's a
is.
great question. Every culture has a name for our purpose on earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Dharma, the Hawaiians call it Ha, the breath of life, right? This is who we are. It's called Chi, it's called all sorts of things. So we're energetic beings. And we come to earth into the physical, we're full of energy. When we die, the energy leaves. That's what happens. I mean, we physically see that happening, right?
Right.
So this energy, our connection to the universe, to source, to God, to all that is, to whatever you want to call it. I don't care what you want to call it, but this is scientifically proven. Our energy are these divine gifts. That's our energy. And they're associated with the chakras in a way. That's how they flow in. And when you don't understand them, and you don't let the energy flow out properly, understanding what it is, you will act in a dysfunctional way. So it's very easy to prove whether or not what I've come up with for people is correct. Never had one turned down. And everyone, the minute they see these, you have this innate understanding inside you of, yes, this is who I am. You can feel it. And from that, you have a path to follow. And it really, because divine order is one of the gifts. Well, if somebody has divine order, I guarantee you that their life lessons and things their lesson to learn is how to deal with chaos, right? Because they don't like that. But when you have divine order, in the physical, chaos is disturbing to you. But when you step to it with love in your energy, you can make it dissolve like nothing. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And as people start playing with this, when they learn about it, their lives, like I can change somebody's life in 60 minutes, just boom, done. Then I show them how to integrate it, but it's just wild. It's fun.
Yeah. So I guess one of the things I find intriguing is that you're saying that you're going to have your lessons in the area where you have these gifts.
There's going to be some association with it.
Give us an example.
Give you an example. Okay. So somebody, like one life lesson path deals with sensitivity and expression. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And another one deals with vision and acceptance. Okay. So I've got a client right now that has double expression and sensitivity in his life lesson, and his overall life lesson is vision and acceptance. He's extremely physically sensitive to energy. For instance, people with this life lesson, Kristin, do not go to malls. They don't go. And when I speak to them, and I'm like, oh, you hate the malls, like you don't go to concerts. They're like, how the hell would you know that, right? But it's just part of that life lesson because it's physically too disturbing to them.
Right. So this is what is so interesting to me is when you get this understanding of what your gift is, then it makes sense.
You can make better choices and they feel better. This isn't something you do in your mind. You make the choice, but you physically feel it. Yeah.
Right. So this idea of you have, wow, okay, so this is why I have always had this reaction. And I do remember that when...
Yes, exactly. In fact, you live in reaction all day long. Right. Because we're here just to learn lessons. You know what good mental health is?
What?
Excellent mental health is getting past your current challenge with the understanding that there's another one on its way.
Ugh. Yeah.
And that's life.
Right.
But you see, so many of these challenges are made from our life lessons, from the dysfunctions of our divine gifts, that when you see them, you can just, it's like, oh no, there's 3 feet of snow on the mountain. We're going to drive around,
Right. So when you talk about dysfunctions of the divine gifts, what do you mean by that?
What I mean is, like someone, if they had divine order, okay,
Mm-hmm.
everybody has divine order, but if they had it, we have 3 really big gifts. But someone with divine order is going to be doing one of 2 things, okay? They are going to run from chaos and conflict. They will do whatever is necessary to keep somebody happy. They just completely abandon themselves because it feels so terrible. Or they're totally to the other side and they're completely chaotic.
I see. They're just so caught up in it and they haven't learned.
You're out of control because you just feel that way. If somebody if you have divine order and the chaos and confrontation bothers you, this is a physical reaction. This is like, oh my God, you go into fear, you shrink up. But it's because your greatest power is to step into the order, beauty, harmony, balance, everything that you bring to life when you're living in your power. It's just the opposite of it. And when you do that, situations dissolve like snow in Phoenix in July. It's amazing.
Right. So you're saying if somebody, like, they find that they have order as one of their divine gifts, like, what would be one of the items? How would you advise them to then make decisions or how to react?
So I don't have an answer to that. And here's why. Okay. I've written my new book, The 7 Levels of Truth. It's on Amazon. And it can also be purchased at my cost. People usually do free book giveaways, and then you pay shipping and handling. Well, That's what this is, but I don't say it's free. You have to pay shipping and handling, and you can get the book. I think it's $8. It's at book.truelifepurposenow.com is where you can get that. Everything I use in my coaching is in this book. Now, everything I use, everything I talk about, all of the resources you already have. Okay. You don't have to go get anything. You have everything. You have your divine gifts. You have you have everything. You just need a clearer understanding of it. And there's a lot of different factors that come into it because you have 7 divine gifts and then there's 38 different life lessons paths that people could be on. There's just a lot of factors that come into our life, Kristin, that are natural disruptors. And when you understand it's a disruptor because of your perception, you have a choice to change your perception. And typically that's going to be going from fear to love.
All right. So again, I keep going back to this because I'm one of these people who likes, I like to wrap my head around things. With the order, I guess when you find your divine gift, you get an understanding of why you act in such a...
Why you feel the way you do.
Right. Can you then choose to pick and react a different way?
Yes. It's easy, but you're doing it now with feelings. Okay, you're making a choice, but you're doing it with feelings, right? Mm-hmm. So some people, if I remember working with you, okay, actually you were really fascinating because you probably don't remember what your divine gifts were.
I do remember. I can't remember the name of one, but I know one made a huge impact on me.
Yeah, you had your primary gift. There's 7 divine gifts: divine compassion, divine creation, divine order, divine healing, divine authentic self-expression, divine truth, and divine power. Okay. We have three primary gifts. Your primary gift is authentic self-expression, divine authentic self-expression. Hello, here's Kristin with her podcast. Okay.
Right.
And this is a spiritual teacher who uses self-expression through written and spoken word to introduce new ways to look at life.
Yes.
Look at what you're doing. Okay. But your second one is very interesting. Okay. And it's something that I don't see with a lot of people is you have divine truth. And that's standing in your unique truth. You teach others to see clearly, see themselves for who they truly are.
Mm-hmm.
You're always in the search of clarity in your conversations, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And then your third gift, the middle gift, divine truth, was a middle size. Authentic self-expression is a larger one. Then you have divine power, which is using choice to create a powerful life, which is something that you struggle with because the divine truth gets in the way because you keep searching for more clarity, so you don't make the choice. Right?
Yes, you just summed me up exactly right there. Yes.
So do you see how that fits into a person's life?
Yeah. Yes. And I do remember that it made, because here I was training to be a coach, and I felt such a pull to go help people to figure out that they can live differently, that they can choose. I mean, this is my whole thing. You can choose your thoughts and choose to shape your mind, even when it doesn't feel like it. And that's, yes, it made so much sense.
This information is so accurate that this is first in my life. This and the energy comes first. That's what I bring into the physical first. Then I go to my head.
Right.
My head comes after. It's always energy first. Like, for instance, on this interview, I'm just here to have a conversation with you, help others grow and expand, to be of service. That's it. That's the best I can do. It's the best energy I can create.
So I have then a very interesting question for you. For me, this is one I want to know the answer to, and hopefully the other listeners do too, is when you are the type of person who is in your thoughts so much, which is who I think I speak to, and that's who I work with. How, because I always want to know the how do you start to move into living from energy?
Okay, you go to your heart.
Oh, shoot. I don't know. It just cut out there. It might not have cut out on the recording, but I could not hear that. Can you say the answer? You go to your heart, and then it went blank.
You sit quietly. You just sit quietly, go to your heart and ask it the question, and always notice how you feel. If your gut, everybody has gut feelings that aren't good, but they don't know what to do with them. But if you don't feel good, back off from whatever you're doing and just give it some time. Okay? Something's not right. What's going on with people always have stuff going through their head. Okay? The ones that are in serious condition. Okay? I mean, like massive amounts of information. Okay? They have direct connections to source. They're very creative people. And the problem is we live in the physical, Kristin. Okay? We get up, we go to work, we do all that. We're in the physical, right? And we ignore the non-physical. We ignore the universal laws. We ignore the energy because we're in survival. And these people that have all this information going through their head believe that somehow they've got to make it physical, which you don't have to. You just let it go. When you look at it energetically, it doesn't mean a thing because that information is available to everybody all the time energetically. If you're willing to sit quietly and just connect and go get it, it's really easy to get. But everybody's consumed by the physical and consumed by survival, consumed by making the right decisions. And the reason they're making decisions is because they're under stress and it's overwhelmed. But when you understand who you are, when you understand your life purpose, you now have something that you get that you cherish, and it's called responsibility. People hate responsibility now because it's tied to accountability, somebody outside of them. They're doing it to get a result from someone outside of them. When you're living from the inside, you make a choice and you're responsible to it. And it has nothing to do with anybody around you.
Right. You're making the choice.
You're totally free. You're making the choice to do it. So you can't bitch, because if you do, then you're a victim and now you're giving your power away. The moment you point to somebody else, you hand them your power.
Right. Right. You get to choose how you respond.
Free will and choice is the greatest gift we have.
Right. So, when you are given a choice, when you are faced with a situation that maybe triggers you, you sit. Do you ask a question, or do you sit and feel into it? Or is it more like meditation, quiet?
No, you just, really, you just become aware of it. And you realize that you're now under the influence. Okay. So in your case, this divine truth gets in your way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's just, you just need to ask another question, right? It's like, it's just like it feels like the right thing to do. And it's not wrong, but it gets in the way of you just making choices from abundance, clarity, and power, right?
Right.
Because it always leaves other questions in your mind, doesn't it?
Right. And none of the questions are all answered.
Ever, right?
Never. Right.
Right. But if you go to your heart and ask it about the truth, you'll get a different answer.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different. And that is the only place in our life that's true is how we feel. Everything else is made up. Everything else is not real.
Mm-hmm.
It's all made up. It's all everybody's interpretation of what they're seeing.
Right. Well, when people feel fear.
Okay. Then I can identify with fear.
Mm-hmm.
Can you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is the physical experience, you see. But the physical experience is completely run by energy and everybody ignores it because they're so busy surviving. But I've got to do this. I've got to pick up the kids. We have soccer practice. I've got to go get groceries. I've got to go to work.
Yes. I for some reason, I am completely discombobulated right now, which is very funny.
Good.
Because you feel fear and you feel in your heart and you feel fear.
Right. But where is the fear coming from?
Mm-hmm.
It's coming from a story.
Right. So, for example, for me and what we've been talking about, this fear would be coming from the story that I need to have answers to all questions before I make a decision.
Yes.
Okay. I get it.
And the reason you're asking the questions passes logic and goes directly towards protection.
Mm-hmm.
And your fear is that you're unprotected.
Right.
And that is what controls what you think, say, and do.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do all the mindset you want, but the minute you feel that way, you're going to think, say, and do the same things all the time, which you know because you're a certain age, you've been living that way your whole life. That's why we go in circles, we repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So basically, at the base of this, we need to all deal with our fear of being unprotected. It comes back to that.
No, you do.
Oh, I do. Okay, well, I do. Yes.
I'm not talking about everybody. Everybody has different, everybody has a totally different, unique purpose and divine gifts.
Right.
No two are the same. You
right.
see? It's all unique. That's what's so fascinating about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's uncannily accurate.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. Yes, I certainly do enjoy talking to you, Bill. And I hope that everybody can, sort of with their own, from their own place, understand how the sort of understanding of just that we come to things with these stories. And I think
stories run our lives.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let me say this. When I talk to people, as you know, Kristin, I've been doing this a long time. Okay. And it is impossible, literally impossible, to explain to people what I do and what happens. It's impossible. It's totally experiential. And the people that end up coming to work with me are people that are supposed to work with me. But this is why I wrote my book, because you have everything. You just need to understand the resources and then make choices as they fit in your life. Mm-hmm. Because you, Kristin, and I, and all of your listeners are totally different. We come from different backgrounds. We come to blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's just that we have millions of differences. So we each need to understand just the resources and guideposts, and then we'll know what to choose in our life. For instance, when you learned about truth in this, I can already see you energetically going, wow, I can relieve some pressure in my life with this.
Right.
So all of this information is in my book, The 7 Levels of Truth.
That's great.
Okay. So that's why I wrote the book, because I can't see everybody.
Right.
But I can tell you this, the results that the people get that work with me, that use this, are mind-blowing. Mm-hmm. It's literally mind-blowing. It's just crazy how fast it happens. Your life changes.
Very cool.
You feel it, and then you get in the flow of it, and then it just goes.
Right. It's
really exciting.
Yeah, it's very cool. So can you remind everybody again what the name of your website is and where they can get your book?
My website is truelifepurposenow.com. I am Bill Heinrich. My book is The 7 Levels of Truth. You can get that on Amazon, and you can get it at my cost at book.truelifepurposenow.com.
That's great, Bill. I will be getting your book and reading it. I very much look forward to that.
It's been fun connecting with you again.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much. And listeners, all of you out there, thank you for listening and for taking the time to make space to become the people that you want to be. And until next time, go out and remember that you do hold the power to change and transform your world.
Are you ready to discover your superpowers? Go now to superpowerexperts.com and take the superpower quiz today.